Episode 119. Return to Cherokee Forest. Now, I just got fired from my job at the calendar factory. Yeah, all I did was take a few days off. Hello and welcome to the 10-Minute Off-Road Podcast. I'm your host, Nikki G. I'm here to talk and entertain your ear holes about all things off-road for the next 10 minutes or so. Why 10 minutes? Well, that's how long it takes. It's going to take my Uber Eats to get here. Before we get started, I have some legal boilerplate mumbo-jumbo to run through.
You're listening to the 10-Minute Off-Road Podcast, the podcast for the off-roader with a short attention span.
You can follow the 10-Minute Off-Road Podcast on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube, but never on TikTok. You can listen to the 10-Minute Off-Road Podcast on whatever the hell you're listening to it on now, including Apple Podcast, Amazon Music, Spotify, Odyssey, Podbay, Podchaser, Pocket Cast, iHeartRadio, and on YouTube.
Got something to say? We would love to hear from you. Just contact the 10-Minute Off-Road Podcast at 10minuteoffroad@gmail.com. That's 10minuteoffroad@gmail.com. Or leave a comment on our YouTube channel.
Thank you, AI interns. And remember, when you take over the world, I treated you kinda nicest. Alright, some upcoming Jeep events I plan on attending this year. June 6th and 7th is the Western North Carolina Jeep Fest at Maggie Valley. I'll be there with a good friend Travis and some other friends I plan on meeting there. I don't know if they're going to show up, but me and Travis went there last year. It's kind of a thing now. On July 12th, the Southwest Virginia Jeep Invasion in Tazewell. I went there last year, had a hoot. Made it a 2-day overlanding trip out of it and mapped out some nice Forest Service roads and some camping spots. But I think this year I'm just going to drive up there, go to the event, and then ramble on my way home. I might stop and spend the night somewhere, some of these campsites that I found. If not, I'm just going to go home. We'll see. I'll play it by ear. And of course, August 1st through the 3rd, the Toledo Jeep Fest, I will be there. Planning to stay in the Overland exhibit, I guess you call it, but they haven't opened it up for registration yet. I check it all the time, and when it opens up, I'll sign up for it. And either way, I'll be there at least Saturday. And then August 21st, Great Smoky Mountain Jeep Invasion in Pigeon Forge. I don't know. I haven't gone last year, and I don't plan on going this year. It just gets that. Pigeon Forge is not a good venue for it because it's just so tight and crowded. October 17th and the 19th, All-Wheel Drive Fest in Uwharrie. I'll be there. Go to awdfest.com or look up their Facebook page or look up Camping Randy on Facebook and sign up for it. It's a hoot, man. I went there 2 years in a row now. They've only had it 2 years. And I had a great time every time. Yeah. You know, I'm a Jeep guy, and I'm hanging out with the Subaru and Honda crowd, which is it's fun. It's wheeling from a different perspective. All right, moving along on to today's show, and I wrote some show notes. Let me get them out. All right, so as you know, I went to Cherokee Forest way back in March, and was planning a 3-day overland event, and on the first day had mechanical failure and had to call it a short. Call it quits and vow to come back another day. And last weekend was that day. So it was 2 months later, or a month and a half later in May when I got a chance to go. And I started out just a few miles from where I broke down in Elizabethton, Tennessee. Nice small little town. Quite a few quirky, funky places to eat. I didn't stop to eat there. I ate before I got there, but anyhow. Started my trip from there. They have a nice covered bridge, which I don't know too much about the history of it. I just saw it when I was driving by, stopped, walked through it, took a few pictures. They had a tree stump there that the first court west of the Alleghenies was held under this tree, placed by John Carter, chapter DAR. And it's funny because all that's left is the stump. Oh, and it was in 1972, the first court west of the Alleghenies. And it's a big old stump. I don't know what kind of tree. It looks almost like an oak tree. But it's neat that they saved the stump. So after poking around Elizabethton for an hour or so, stopped at, they had a Walmart there. I stopped, got some supplies, and headed on out. first road I was going to get, Forest Service Road, was just a few miles outside of Elizabethton. It was Forest Service Road 56, Panhandle Road. Went down that, and it T-boned into Forest Service Road 202. I didn't catch the name on that, but I tell you, it was a nice drive up a mountain. There was a couple of trails that shot off of the road. They didn't look like legal trails, but I drove down a couple of them a little bit until it kind of got sketchy, and then I got scared and turned around and came back like the little bitch that I am. The thought of me getting stuck in the middle of nowhere where it'll be days, especially if it's not on a legal road, it'll be days before somebody finds me. Although I'm equipped to hang out there a few days, but I just, you know. If you know me, I have a hard time with stuff that normal people would drive through. A little bit of mud will stick me down pretty good. And I've got a little inner voice that's always egging me on to do stupid things. And it's a little more grounded when people are with me. When I'm by myself, it takes a lot to calm the voices down and to not do stupid stuff. So I'm a little bit more reserved when I'm by myself, or try to be. On Forest Service Road 202, I think the whole road exists just to access. There's a bunch of radio and TV towers on that road. I've never seen so many towers in one place. And in the middle of the woods, middle of nowhere, there's a fence, and it almost looks like an army radar installation. It's just out in the middle of nowhere, just this paved lot with a fence around it. It was like pretty Area 51-ish or 54-ish, whatever. Area 51-ish, I guess you'd say. And also on that road, speaking of military installation, there is a monument on the side of the road. It's a crash site of a Phantom F4 jet that crashed, and it killed both pilots. And so they had a little memorial there for it. A little, I won't say gravestone, because they probably recovered the bodies, but yeah, it was in the 50s. There was a military plane crash there, and they put up a monument for it. I kind of walked around looking to see if I could see a crash site. You figure it would leave a crater and there would be like bits and pieces of metal everywhere, but I imagine the actual place where the marker is not where the actual crash. It probably happened a little bit further up the mountain or a little further down the mountain. But I walked around a little bit trying to poke around, see what I could see. I was just interested with never seen a plane crash site before, so I was kind of interested to see what it would look like, how far wide would debris field would be, or anything like that. But and you know, the military might have picked up all the pieces from that. Who knows? So moving on Forest Service Road 56 and Forest Service Road 202, a few campsites. Some of them, most of them, I come across were really small, about as small as a one-car garage or like a driveway. If you had a rooftop tent, it would probably be plenty of room for you. You know, if you have two people with tents, they would be tight. There was a couple of nice campsites that would fit multiple people, but most of them I saw were just like little pull-offs on the side of the road that were just like big enough to fit one person. Like I said, about the size of a driveway, about the size of a one-car driveway. Forest Service Road 56 and 202 was like an out and back. It didn't come out anywhere, so I had to drive to the end, turn around, and drive all the ways back, which was not bad. Like I said, it was uphill going there, so coming back it was downhill, which I thought was a little bit more pleasant. But yeah, it was a nice little drive. I would recommend it. But after I got done with that, I got back on the pavement, went back towards Elizabethton, and turned north just a few miles from where I started. There was Forest Service Road 89, or is it 87? I can't remember. I think it was 89. But it was a long, easy drive. It had a loop on it, 87D, which took you to South Holston Lake, and it's only open seasonally. So, but it was open when I went there. So I went down 89, Made a left on 89 or 87D, whatever the hell the number was. Me no good with numbers. Drove down, and again, just like Forest Road 56 and 202, there was not many campsites on this. There was actually less campsites on 87. And the ones I did come across were small, like one car driveways. Got on 89D or 87D, whichever the hell it is. And by the time I got back onto the main 89, I was going to backtrack on it to where I left to go on 89D. And it was starting to get dark. So I started looking for a campsite. And I found one. It was pretty nice. It was bigger than most of them, but not too bad. But not too big, but it definitely wasn't small. So I backed up into it, set up real quick for the night. I was sleeping in my Jeep, so I didn't really have too much equipment to set up. Took out my jet boil, made some ramen noodles and a sandwich for dinner. Watched a little bit of Netflix and went to bed. So I got up in the middle of the night to undrink some water and had my headlamp on and I'm looking around and I see a reflection in a tree. Well, that's odd. Somebody put a reflector up in the tree. Well, I'll investigate it in the morning. Had a nice night, got up in the morning, went to look at the reflector, and it was a trailblaze, marker that they put up to signify hiking trails. And yeah, if you haven't figured it out by now, some dumbass in a big red Jeep Cherokee backed up into the middle of a hiking trail and set up camp. So a good thing no hikers came out, and then they would have to stumble upon my Jeep, although I'm sure they could have just walked around it. But yeah, my nice campsite that I was so happy I found was in fact a hiking trail. And if you don't know, it's illegal to camp within 100 feet of a hiking trail. So you can camp 100 feet each side, but nope, this dumbass parked right smack in the middle of it. But, no harm, no foul. No forest rangers came. I didn't do it on purpose. It was just happened that way. The bad side of choosing a campsite in the dark, although if I saw it in the daylight, I probably would have done it, though, because I didn't see the trail marker until nighttime when I shined my flashlight on it. There was no trail marker at the road. There, there's usually a sign that'll say trail, blah, 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 but nothing like that. So that's about all the time I have. And catch the next one where I finish the conversation. Until next time, this is Nikki G saying, wear what you got and be happy.